Hello everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and overview of this new video card from Galaxy. This is the Galaxy GeForce GTX 770 Hall of Fame White Edition. Let's start off with a look at the retail box. The box is white to go along with the white PCB and the white cooling solution on this card. But first off, for 770, which is based on the GK104 GPU, same one that the 680 was based on, you get a 2 GB frame buffer with this card. You get a 3-year extended warranty from Galaxy. This also has a special custom designed forced air bracket, which basically has wider gaps to increase the airflow out the back of the case. A 3-fan custom cooling solution. This card does support 3 monitors plus a additional monitor, so basically 4 monitors. You can use 3 of them for gaming. You can use the 4th as a companion display. And then this is also an overclocking edition, so it comes overclocked out of the box, and it is also designed for even more overclocking if that's your thing. You can also try to do that. Let's talk about some of the details here in some of these little boxes. Highest frequency possible, which is good if you're going for an overclocked video card. The Hall of Fame edition is built with only the most select chips for absolute best core clocks possible. So basically, they're binning their GPUs, they're choosing the good ones to use with this particular card so you can get really high overclocks. Born for overclocking, designed with overclocking in mind, multiple world records have been broken already thanks to the specially optimized circuitry. That's pretty good. Premium cooling, multiple heat pipes with high surface area fins to deliver maximum cooling efficiency. And then you also have some LED effects, so we'll plug this in to show you guys those. They're using international rectifier digital power for the digital PWM controllers, multiple power phases to deliver clean and stable current. Also premium components used throughout the board. Only the best components available, including POSCAP, tantalum solid capacitors with conductive polymer, and multi-layer ceramic capacitors. Pretty nice. Components ensure top performance and longevity. And a white PCB, of course, which we'll give you a look at in just a second. There's also some details over here on the side that I wanted to point out to you guys. Key features, these are some NVIDIA specific features that you'll get with the 700 series of cards. So you get access to GPU Boost 2.0, for example, which lets you set a temperature target to overclock based on. It works quite well. Also NVIDIA technologies such as TXAA and FXAA. Physics support, of course. Adaptive VSync. NVIDIA Surround for 4 monitors. There's your display outs listed there. And then compatibility with all these APIs, 3D Vision, SLI ready. Of course, you can do 3-way or 4-way. Well, you can do at least 3-way with this particular card. And then, of course, OpenGL, OpenCL. And this is an NVIDIA Shield ready card, so you can use this to stream your PC games over your home network to a portable NVIDIA Shield device if you've got one of those. Also, minimum system requirements are listed over there, and definitely pay attention to the power supply portion of that. Minimum 600 watt or greater recommended with a minimum 12 volt current rating of 42 amps. Inside the box, and while I'm doing this, let me correct myself. This card should do 4-way SLI if that's your thing. It's the 780 that's currently limited to 3-way SLI. So, sorted. All right, here's the card itself in its protective packaging. We'll finish with that. Attention customers, thanks for purchasing your Galaxy graphics card. If you have any issues, go ahead and contact the tech support website or use the phone number listed here to contact them rather than returning it to the store, of course. If you really want, you can contact Newegg Customer Service for RMAs as well, but Galaxy would like to help you out first. Here's some little add-on items. So first off, you got a door hanger, game in progress, do not disturb, and there's you gaming. Very nice. And then over on the other side, overclocking in progress. So you're either overclocking or you're gaming, depending on your preference with this particular door hanger. That's all you can do. You also have this little guy right here, which is, it's like a paper folding thing. I'm sure there's like an actual word for these types of things, but you pop it out and you fold it together and it makes a little Galaxy dude, which you can stand on your desk. It looks kind of like that. There it is. That's what he looks like right there. I forgot that Tina assembled one of these guys. So, okay. That's the other little accessory you get. For some perhaps slightly less aesthetically appealing but more useful accessories, let's take a look in here. First off, they're giving you some power cable adapters. Again, if you have a 600 watt power supply but don't have necessarily the proper PCI Express connectors, you can use these to convert Molex plugs to PCI Express. Both of these are dual Molex to a single 8-pin PCI Express power connector, which should give you what you need for the card, again, provided that your power supply has the juice to support it, and I usually recommend going a bit beyond the 600 watts to give yourself some overclocking and upgrading headroom in the future. You've got a DVI to HDMI adapter right here, or I should actually say HDMI to DVI. So if you need some native HDMI or some native DVI in this card, since it doesn't have it out of the box, HDMI on that side, and then a dual link DVI on the other side. And then over here we have another adapter, since this card features micro HDMI. So you got micro HDMI to standard HDMI with a cap on it right there. Okay, standard HDMI. There you go. So those are the included adapters. Here's your Hall of Fame graphics card driver installation disc. Chances are this is outdated by the time you get it, so go to the Galaxy or the NVIDIA website to download your latest drivers. Here is your Hall of Fame user's manual for this card, which has words and useful information inside, as well as a look at the card. And then you also get this little pamphlet from Galaxy, which has more of their products in it. And here is a look at Galaxy's GeForce GTX 770 Hall of Fame White Edition itself. Beautiful card. Again, pretty much all white, except for, of course, some accents in silver and black here and there. Let's start off with the measurement, however, although you guys might not be able to see necessarily the very end of this. When measured from the bracket here, I'm going to say about 11.5 inches to account for the protrusion of the cooler over the PCB at the end right there. So make sure you've got, I'd say, at least 11.5 to 12 inches in your case if you're planning on installing this, to make sure you've got plenty of room. But first off, of course, we have the cooling solution. This is a custom cooler from Galaxy, highlighted by these whites. These are like 88mm white fans. They're downward firing, and then a massive aluminum fin array, which you can see just beneath that. The heat dissipation is aided by the heat pipes. You can see the termination ends of them right under there, right on top of a big old copper block, which is covering the GPU, as well as some of the power delivery components around it. 5 of those heat pipes, which go across that copper block, and then extend out into the fin array at various points to aid with the transfer of the heat from the GPU out to there. Also, you'll notice some of the highlights along the edge. So the shroud itself is plastic, where you see the white. We also have some metal pieces which are put on there for highlighting, as well as to provide some structural support to that to keep it nice and straight and firm and all that good stuff. Over here on this side, you have 2 8-pin supplemental, or not supplemental, but PEG or PCI Express graphics power connectors. That is a difference from the stock version of this card, which has an 8-pin and a 6-pin. So that's to provide some extra juice for the power delivery and to also aid with overclocking. You also notice that Galaxy has gone and put some supplemental heat sinks, some aluminum heat sinks on some of the other components on the board underneath here. Again, power delivery as well as the memory, again, to keep those cooled off, since this is an overclock card. Speaking of overclock card, the reference spec, and I do have a reference card here that I can show you guys side by side to take a closer look, but the reference design for the GTX 770 has it running at a base clock of 1046 megahertz and a boost clock of 1085. That's this guy right here. The Galaxy version has a base clock of 1202 and then a boost clock of 1254 megahertz. So again, over 150 megahertz improvement from the overclocked edition here versus the stock edition, which we're looking at from NVIDIA. Looking at the back of each card, or the PCB, or the top of the card, I guess depending on whether or not you have it installed in a case or not, you can see first off, the beautiful all-white PCB design that Galaxy has gone with here gives it a really distinct look, but also, again, custom PCB design. So they've added some power faces for power delivery for that. Also extended the length of the board by just maybe half a centimeter or so. But by reconfiguring that and laying things out a little bit differently, they were able to align everything to work out with their cooling solution that they've added on here. Let me set this to the side and continue speaking. Once again, this is a 2 GB frame buffer for this card. The memory on the 770s in general is just screaming fast. It has an effective memory clock of 7010 megahertz, which is about 1,000 megahertz faster than the GTX 680 when it launched. It's on a 256-bit bus. It gives you total memory bandwidth of 224.3 gigabytes per second, which is pretty crazy. Again, GK104 still based on the GK104 still based on the 28 nanometer manufacturing process. Kepler GPU architecture from NVIDIA. SLI support, again right here by way of the two SLI fingers that you can see right there. 2-way, 3-way, and 4-way SLI configurations are supported from NVIDIA for this card. Up on this side you have your PCI Express connector. So again, PCI Express Gen 3 is supported by this card. It's backwards compatible with Gen 2 or 2.1, so if you have a slightly older motherboard, don't worry, you can still plug this card in and use it. And the difference from Gen 2 to Gen 3 is only a couple of percentage points, so no worries there. For video outs, as well as that forced air bracket, which they have right there, you can see nice wide gaps in there to allow air to escape out the back of the case. And then video connectors here. Starting on this side, we have a full-size DisplayPort connector. And then we have 3 mini HDMI connectors, so again you can connect all of those up to your respective monitors, so you can set up 4 monitors at once out of this single card. And as promised guys, here's a quick look at the card installed, although not necessarily color coordinated with our test bed, but hopefully you can forgive us of that. I'm going to go ahead and hit the start and get everything up and running here. So first off, waiting for it to boot just to get a look at the fans spinning, but as you can see, white fans on the bottom and white PCB on the back, looking very nice, installed here in our Newegg TV test bed. Let me go ahead and kill the lights to give you guys a better look at the lighting effect. And there it is. As you can see, you get a full kind of white bar going across the outer edge of the card, which is going to be very visible, particularly if you have a side window or something to that effect. It says GeForce GTX 770 series there on the side, and it will sort of glow and pulsate on and off like that. Quite visually pleasing. And before I wrap up, I did want to point out one last spec of this card. It has 1,536 Cuda Cores, so if you're into CUDA accelerated applications, you can make use of those by way of the NVIDIA GeForce drivers. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm Paul with Newegg TV. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful or entertaining or any of that good stuff, go ahead and leave us some feedback. You can click the like or the dislike button down there. Leave us a comment if you'd like to let us know how you feel about this particular card. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.